business would persist until the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. The NWA as a central governing body, with its singular, undisputed world champion, would be absolute and undeniable. This control, combined with the expansion of the interstate highway system, and the inevitable popularity and availability of regional television, would usher in an era of wrestling that was defined by what would come to be known as the territory system. The territory system would dominate wrestling for nearly 4 decades. While the borders, authority, popularity, and obedience of individual NWA territories was in a near constant state of flux, to this day the impact and influence of these territories is still felt. Each territory had its own signature promoter and star. While it is impossible to cram these characteristics into a static, concrete map, we are damn sure going to try anyway.
So open up your eyes way before it gets too late. Now one man, there's no way you can hit the street lights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Sinners never sacrifice. We never leave love alone. Is hate really worth the price? Look at what we've done. Never cared for compromise. Always threatened when someone's life, and it feels like the end of the world.
All right, welcome to episode 12 of Pro Wrestling, hosted by your favorite host from Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. This is Mike Monty.
This is the Pharaoh.
Episode 12, dude.
Yeah.
So if you count it,
Yeah.
that's
Count?
3 months we've been doing this.
Yeah, that's good.
Not
wow,
bad.
You're pretty good at fast math.
Not bad, right?
Nicely done.
So we welcome everybody. We thank you for joining us on this beautiful Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Right?
My favorite day of the week, except for Saturday and Sunday, where I usually don't have to do anything.
Well, there you go.
You know?
But then you get set all the wrestling fans up for
Yeah, sets you up for everything.
SmackDown
Right,
and then Rampage.
right. And then Raw, and then NXT.
Well, it
and
goes
then
around,
Dynamite
around,
and all
around,
that other
around,
good stuff. Right, we go round and
exactly.
round and round and throw a pay-per-view in sometimes.
It'd be nice if I turned off the sound to my computer. That'd
the
be
what?
terrific.
Be quiet. We're doing a show, stupid computer.
Unbelievable.
Hey.
All right, man.
Everything's
So
out of
let's hit
line.
it.
Yeah, hit it. What do you got?
WOW, Women of Wrestling, to
favorite
launch
subject.
a new weekend episode at Viacom CBS deal. Viacom CBS said Thursday that it inked a multi-year distribution deal with WOW, also known as Women of Wrestling. The exclusive media rights pact gives the Women's Professional Wrestling League distribution in the U.S. and abroad. New episodes of WOW will launch weekend syndication beginning at the fall of 2022. That's a pretty long time.
Yeah, that's a while off.
I mean, they're catching on to the whole wrestling surge that's happening, but
Right.
that's kind of far off.
Yeah,
man. I
that
gotta
kind
be
of
honest with
is.
you.
Kind of is.
WOW was founded in 2000 by David McLean, who also is behind the women's wrestling promotion Glow.
There you go.
Which was the inspiration for the namesake Netflix series starring Allison Brie, Ruth Wilder, and Mark Maron.
Which was quite successful.
By the way, great series.
Yeah.
Disappointing part of that series
Yeah.
is they never ended it. It's
Oh,
just
that's
like
nice.
They stopped it because of COVID, and that.
I'll
was
tell
the
you.
end of
No,
it.
wait. We'll get this in fast. They stopped it because that's what Netflix does. They destroyed the Marvel Universe. They had some great shows. Daredevil, Cage, all sorts. And they just pulled the plug. And by the way...
All those are pulled?
They pulled the
I did
plug.
not know
and
that.
on top of it, the Lost in Space reboot, which was actually good. We've been waiting forever for something decent. If you like the original Lost in Space, pull the plug. We're doing one more season. That's it. Doesn't matter how popular it is. They throw away good money.
Wow.
I'm confused.
I did not know that.
I'm confused. What else you got? Oh, I see that it's owned. WOW is now owned by L.A. Lakers controlling owner and president Jeannie Buss.
That's correct.
Wow.
And AJ Mendez was announced her return to professional wrestling.
AJ?
Author of Crazy is My Superpower and former WWE champion who went by the name of AJ Lee.
AJ.
When she wrestled, will provide commentary during each broadcast. She will also serve as an executive producer alongside Bus.
Very
So,
interesting.
thoughts? You're not the biggest fan of women's wrestling?
That's true.
As a huge wrestling fan, and I don't want to call you an expert because we hate that term on the Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, which carries over to its sister publication.
I'm flattered
This
by
Week
the
in Pro
term,
Wrestling.
but I'm flattered by the term, but I never want to be grouped with the people who are associated with the term.
Thank you. So we'll call you pro wrestling god, genius,
God,
master,
wait a minute.
but not expert.
Wow, man. Oh, man. I don't know. Okay, fine. Whatever you say, but leave maybe not the God
So
part.
thoughts on
Oy.
WoW?
Sorry.
And by the way,
What?
Tessa Blanchard has signed with them.
The thought that I have is, it's very interesting to me. What if they take off and the show does well? This is a real possible threat to Vince's roster, to AEW's roster. What could stop them from, like, how do we know a Charlotte Flair won't say, you know what? I kind of like that exclusivity that they have there, that it's all about the women. Maybe I want to go there.
So a year ago, if you remember,
Interesting.
Foley, right? Didn't he say the women should have their own show? And
Right.
we actually talked about it on the show.
We said it all the time.
But then we said we didn't think it would do well. It wouldn't make it.
We're going to find out.
Thoughts? Is this going to be a successful venture? I mean, again,
Wow.
this is
With
a
Tessa-
2-year deal, right? A 2-year deal.
Right, they've got 2 years to. With Tessa Blanchard there and AJ Lee there, that's a hell of a start.
Well,
That's a
AJ Lee's
great
not wrestling from
Does-
what I
Either
understand.
way, she's there. She's probably talking like Phil, right?
Is there enough women to be part of WoW?
I don't know yet. Have they released a roster? When they release a roster, and I can see what they have in mind. I don't know what they have in mind.
think about it.
How
How
long
many
is the show
women-
going to be? An hour? Do we know? Is it an
doesn't-
hour?
It doesn't say.
Okay. I'm going to assume it's going to be an hour.
Okay.
All right. If it's an hour, how big of a roster do you need?
12 people, maybe?
That might be
Little
that's
light?
not bad. Yeah, little light. I would say maybe 17 to 20, and you can help.
Is there 17 women wrestlers out there that can make a difference, right? You could bring in Mickey James. That's like probably a no-brainer.
Yeah, I would think she could be one of them. Well, let's put it this way: there were some new faces coming into, as you know, NXT has rebooted, and you have new faces coming in there. I can see these people I've never heard of. Some of them are pretty damn good.
But they're under contract, dude. They're not going
No.
anywhere.
But my point is how do we know that WoW won't produce women we've never seen before who are good, and they do well? That's a possibility to me.
It is, but this
You
is
know?
the problem.
Not everybody can be Steiner's son, who is the best as far as I'm concerned, already seeing him in the business, Steiner's kid. But there's other people that NXT has recently brought up that I like. And I say to myself, I could see them being a star. This is cool.
You can make new stars.
Fresh face, fresh
you can
opportunity.
Make new stars with established stars.
Of course you can.
So
You can.
Here's my thing.
Sure.
WoW's coming on, right? You know it's coming on.
Right.
Clearly, from what I'm reading, is Tessa's the star is going to be the star of WoW.
Fine with that.
Are you running to watch WoW because Tessa Blanchard's on that?
Now, here's what's strange. That's why that's such a smart signing. You have said it, and it's not a myth. It's the truth. The Pharaoh is not nuts about women's wrestling. Oh, Tessa Blanchard's on there? Guess who's going to tune in to at least see what she's doing? Me. So
One
I
time.
think probably multiple times for
Okay,
Tessa.
really?
For Tessa? Well, believe it or not, Charlotte Flair does that for me too. I can watch Charlotte Flair over and over
So
and
can
over
I.
and over. Tessa's in that territory for me.
Wow. Okay.
I love Tessa.
Fair
I told
enough.
you this
Then,
many times.
You know what? As wrestling fans,
That's a great signing.
I would go watch Tessa once, twice.
Okay.
After a while, if you don't,
What if Tessa has a killer opponent? Let's say they bring in someone that totally matches.
Who's
I
that
bet
killer
you-
opponent?
I don't know.
That's
well, I guess
the
we're gonna have to
problem.
find out.
That's the problem. You have you can
What if
grow
they
stars because you have established stars.
Right.
Tessa's an established star, but who else? You need other established
What if they
stars.
took somebody with the physicality of an Ember Moon and rebooted her over there? Like you said, you could take an established, a known
But Ember
star.
Moon's
and
under contract with the WWE.
it's not going to last forever. Some of these contracts can't,
And
Some
I
may
would
run
have to
out
think
during the
Tony
time they're-
Khan would be a fool to engage with WoW,
Right.
Because you're just going to strip your own company, which would just be dumb.
Tony Khan
breaking
seems to,
down the
seems
fourth
to
wall.
engage with every company, it seems.
Not really.
Well, he's
Think
worked
about
in
it.
the past with some of these other
He's
companies.
worked-
Way more than Vince will lately.
To his advantage, to
Or at
Tony
all.
Khan's advantage.
Sure.
This wouldn't be to Tony Khan's
I
advantage.
totally agree with that. But I've seen him put the old NWA over, and I'm like, what are you doing that for?
When did he do that, though?
Way back in the beginning. I think there was a match between, if I'm not
Cody
mistaken,
and,
and Magnus, who goes by Nick Aldis or whatever.
Yeah,
it
but
was.
that was like in the inception of
But
this
you
whole thing.
understand what
Yeah,
I'm getting
I
at,
do.
though? They still had a contract on TNT. What are you doing swimming with at the little at YouTube NWA? And I mean that by, like, it didn't take off.
Well, I think that was Tony Khan's fan-friendly maneuver, right? Everything's
Right,
a
this is
fan-friendly
very
maneuver.
true. This is very true.
Let's talk about Tony
Yup.
Khan, for example. When this all started, right? Young Bucks, Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first thing that they were touting that they were going to do with this new, or Cody Rhodes, with this new organization? Not to put you on the spot, let's see if you remember.
Former Union?
There you go. That's right. And get medical benefits.
I'm laughing.
And get medical
Oh,
benefits.
of course, yeah. And vacation time.
Right?
I don't know. Whatever.
Andrew Yang and the Young Bucks were going
Oh,
to change the face of wrestling.
Andrew Yang. I hear a gonging somewhere.
Has it changed?
No.
There you go.
Hey, did you think it
So
would?
Tony Khan, who has used the fan-friendly, I love the fans deal, which I think he really does love the fans.
Mm-hmm. You mean
because he's a
preying,
wrestling
preying
fan.
on the fans' sympathy towards the wrestlers?
No, I think giving
Wow.
going to the minority of the people, because they are the minority, that
Right.
the wrestlers are treated unfairly, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
That's the route he went. And
Right.
it worked.
Right.
Okay? But sooner or later, it's not going to work anymore. That's my point. So to put over WOW is only going to hurt him.
Right.
You put Britt Baker on WOW. What are you gaining from that? It's a huge
Absolutely
mistake.
nothing. And you know my theory. I would never cross associate with another promotion. No way. Nope, you're not wrestling my champion. I don't care about your champion. I don't give a damn what you're up to. We're the best. You don't exist. Onward. And by the way, that's Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
So I agree with him.
It's also the show.
Yeah, that's
No
true.
rubs here.
No, rubs? What's that? Next. What do you got?
Alexa Bliss
Oh, we
has
love
been
Alexa.
revealed that she wanted her release from the WWE.
Wow. Okay.
It's worth noting that once Bray Wyatt was officially out of the WWE, not very much about Alexa Bliss's gimmick made sense, considering Bliss tied her latest person to the Sister Abigail gimmick,
Right.
first mentioned during the Wyatt family stable run. After Wyatt left the World Wrestling Federation, or was released by the World Wrestling Federation, the World Wrestling Federation put their Bray Wyatt gimmick on Alexa Bliss, thinking that this would be a very, very smooth transition, where they sold the Lily dolls, which, from what I understand, are selling okay,
Right.
not great. So basically, after this all happened, Alexa Bliss was attacked on Twitter. Supposedly she couldn't handle it. She asked for her release, which was denied, and she was given time off.
You know, obviously Alexa Bliss doesn't need anybody defending her, but those people who write shit about her on Twitter, boy, you guys can just go drown yourselves. You know, what the hell? Why is Alexa always getting targeted this way? It kind of pisses me off. Why is she such an easy target? This is not the first time people have written vicious shit about Alexa Bliss, and it bothers me. All right? Now, don't really go drown yourselves, kids. I don't want you to get the wrong idea, but you guys are being assholes. I don't see any reason to do that. What was wrong with her gimmick this time? I might hate the doll and be like, Lily sucks and all this other stuff,
Sure.
but I'm certainly not going to get on a keyboard and start trying to tear her apart. We've seen how that's hurt and sometimes contributed to the demise of some of these, public figures. So I kind of take that crap seriously.
But on the other hand,
Am I overreacting?
no,
here?
you're
I just
not.
don't
You're
like
right.
how she's being spoken
But on the
to.
other hand, you're Alexa Bliss. Why do you have to go to Twitter? Stay off Twitter.
Well, now you sound like me.
Right,
I don't give a
exactly.
damn.
Disconnect.
I do, but I don't. So I disconnect. I don't. You have to. If it makes you feel that way, you need to disconnect. Absolutely.
Look, fans can be tough, man. Let me ask you this. Again,
I don't
everybody
even
knows.
consider them fans the ones who do that. I'm like, you're just an asshole.
But everyone knows we're
fans.
old.
I'd like to think are good people.
Everyone knows
who love
we're
wrestling.
old school, right?
Yeah.
And it could go into all sports. Like, if I would say to you, if Twitter was around when Demolition came out,
Okay.
what would have
They'd be
happened?
murdering them. Road Warrior.
And do you think the
ripoffs.
WWE would have pulled the plug and Demolition would have freaked out and
No,
bailed?
because we know Vince. Vince would be like, I'm not listening to these assholes. I got a plan and I'm following through with it. When does Vince ever let anybody tell him what to do?
So when
Nice
you
try,
when you
try
first
again.
saw Demolition,
You know?
now understand we are both huge fans of Demolition.
But
When you first saw him, you liked him right
I
from the
loved him
get-go.
right away. For the
Me on
second
the
I
other
saw him.
end, I was in the military. I saw pictures. I remember their first match was in the Meadowlands. I wasn't there live. I saw it in a magazine.
Yeah.
And it was some kind of tag team battle royal.
Right,
and I think one of
right.
the Moondogs was actually in Demolition.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my
Oy.
God, this is
Oh, yeah.
lame.
Right.
But when I got out of the military and I got a little Demolition, I loved it.
I thought they were
So,
great. Right away. Right away. That's my
do you
favorite
think that
tag
Twitter
team ever.
is an initial reaction instead of let it work its way out?
I don't know about initial reaction. I think some people make a living on Twitter basically just talking shit. You know, some people get up in the morning and live for that crap. So I don't.
So do you think they purposely just talk shit,
I think some
regardless
do.
how they feel?
Absolutely.
Just like, let me trash it, no matter what. It's negative.
I think there's some people who are wired like that. Absolutely. You know.
Wow.
I do. I'm positive that there's some people who just get
So
a rush
Mickey
out of doing
Mantle
that.
is in an era with Twitter. What
Kind of
happens to
lame
Mickey
me.
Mantle?
Mickey Mantle, very interesting. I'll tell you what, though, if I know Mickey, he probably would have stayed quiet publicly.
What would have been the Twitter opinion of Mickey Mantle, though?
That he's a goddamn drunk. He doesn't take baseball seriously. Why was he hungover during batting practice? Why was Mickey benched today? You know, and let me clear it up for anybody who would have written shit back then. And I'll make it quick. Mickey Mantle one time, and this is legendary, but it's true because Whitey Ford and Billy told it. Everybody told it. Mickey had spent the night before completely partying and drinking and drinking and drinking. The next day, Casey kind of knew that Mickey was, really fucked up and hungover, so he benched him. Okay? Late in the game, the 8th inning comes. They need a pinch hitter. They need to win this game. Mickey Mantle comes in blood-eyed and slams one into the center field seats. Mm-hmm. Okay? So there's your Twitter assholes right there. I mean, sometimes it's just like keep blowing your smoke because these guys are pros. And Alexa Bliss was great at that character.
Well, let me
Whether
ask you about
like it
is
or
that
don't.
character a win or a failure for the WWE?
In the end, it seems to me like it was a win, even though I didn't personally like it. I think it is a win because I think you were being kind to the people who don't like Lily. It says right here the Lily dolls have sold well. So if the Lily dolls are selling, and look, Alexa's got her fans still. I heard that cheers for her
let me
when she
ask you
came out to wrestle Charlotte. So it wasn't like
Would
everybody's
it be
booing
fair
her.
that the WWE probably their gap, the people that watch the WWE are
Yeah.
older people like ourselves,
Yeah.
and
And their
younger
kids.
children,
Right.
And that
Right.
not middle-aged male, but late young 20 to 40-year-old male is kind of gravitating towards AEW, but still watching WWE.
Right.
So my question is, where does the Lily doll get sold to? If the majority of the people are males, who's buying the Lily doll?
I would think for the young kids. I think the parents are getting
Even
it
the
for
young male?
kids. No, probably not.
So
the
then
young
how
male.
good could these sales be then?
Who knows? I don't know. I mean, if it's been reported that they're selling well, that's what they say. But then again, who's they?
Exactly. Like my common sense
Yeah.
goes, I can't imagine the Lily doll selling well.
Right. I can't stand.
Because I can't imagine their child base of girls are
Right.
that huge. I mean, again,
But
this
you
is
know
a
what,
$1
though?
billion company.
We could be basing that off women's wrestling growing up in our time.
Yes.
The women's wrestling today, for these generations, the past two probably, I bet you there's way more wrestling fans of women now. I bet you there are a lot of little girls that watch pro wrestling, and I freaking love it. So I wouldn't be surprised at all.
This is why
if they're the ones asking
you're
for
not
the
a
Lily
pro.
doll.
This is why you're not a pro wrestling expert. This is why you are a pro wrestling god and a pro wrestling
Stop
genius.
with the God thing.
Because you know what's funny? As we all
my
get older,
God.
it'd be very interesting if someone ended up taking over the Monty and the Pharaoh show,
What?
and then one day that Alexa Bliss is sitting on the couch with our replacements.
Right.
You find out how many people were influenced. You know how we talk about Bob
Right.
Backlund influencing
Yeah,
us
sure.
or something like that?
Yeah.
How many millions were influenced by an Alexa Bliss?
Alexa Bliss, I'm sure, has influenced a ton of women to get into this business.
How
A
amazing
ton.
is that? How
Alexa
amazing
Bliss
is that?
great. To me, she's your first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know what the F everybody's been watching for the last 5 to 7 years, but Alexa Bliss is awesome. I don't know
Agreed.
what the problem is with Alexa Bliss with her haters. Whatever.
Agreed.
She's
And
good in the
you know
ring,
what?
too.
At this point, too, I think she's pretty well set in her life.
Good, and good for her. She's earned it. And she's gotten injured over the years, and she's toughed it out. So,
all right. So here's a good one. You know,
for
Long
her.
Island's This Week in Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
I
what do you
said
got?
Long Island, sorry. This Week in Pro Wrestling. We
no,
said
please,
we cover,
not on just Long Island. We've seen that scene.
we
What are you
yeah,
trying
without
to
a
do?
doubt.
Tums, anybody? Tums? Next.
So we cover all types of organizations. That's the important part of this. So Major League Wrestling CEO, that's MLW, details plan to take on the WWE and AEW juggernauts.
Good luck.
The COVID-19 pandemic presented many challenges to businesses and executives across the globe.
Sure.
Major League Wrestling and CEO Court Bauer.
That's a
among
great
them.
name.
It
Court
is a pretty
Bauer.
good name.
Court Bauer. I like that name.
On
Go
top of dealing with the chaotic logistics of running a company in the middle of the largest global health crisis in 100 years, Bauer was tasked of surviving in a business dominated by Vince McMahon's World Wrestling Entertainment and Tony Khan's All Elite Wrestling promotion.
Oh, yeah.
We had to find a way to serve the fan base, keep the talent and crew active, and do all that we can with the abundance of care of health perspective, Bauer told Yahoo Finance. There's no playbook for it. There is no experience and any way to do this. It is a totally uncharted territory. We had to adapt.
Be
While
nimble.
battling,
Look at him,
be
being nimble.
Yep. And while battling two billionaires, it was most unique situation, and we could have a smaller company try to emerge and grow a business. MLW's first major television deal was signed in 2018 by Be In Sports, and it was quickly expanded to include Be In Espanol.
Right.
MLW, we instantly got huge market share. Just looking through this.
And not surprisingly, being on BN Sports, but because Farrell's a big soccer fan, football fan. Okay, so I've watched a lot of Spanish soccer, and I'm not surprised that they built up a big Spanish-speaking audience with MLW being on the BN network. That's not surprising at all.
So
at all.
thoughts? Can Mr. Bauer take on the two juggernauts?
I don't believe so. I mean, I would like to. I would love it if he can. But I don't know. I mean, how wealthy is this man? How much revenue do they have to work with to battle these billionaires? Because I will say this about MLW. I like their presentation. I think it looks pretty good. I think it's nice and clean. It looks good. I think, believe it or not, I thought it was better production than NWA Power when I watch MLW.
NWA Power was focused on this old school type of look,
Right.
but a little too
Right.
campy for today's generation.
Right.
But go ahead.
MLW also has someone over there that I have mentioned to you a few times who I love probably more than most of the wrestlers that are out there, a guy named Hammerstone.
Yeah, a lot of people like Hammerstone.
I love Hammerstone. So there's things to build with over there. I'm rooting for them to do well. I do like their presentation, but again, I don't know what kind of pockets he has or how deep they are. Do you really think there's room for a third wheel? Or can he pull ECW level of success maybe? You know, it's not ECW, it's a different kind of brand, but...
You don't need a ton of money. But here's this is a legitimate recommendation from
I think
MLW.
a third wheel would be cool, though.
What needs to happen is go off the heartstring of the old school wrestling fan while dragging in the new school wrestling fan. You've got the Von Erich boys over there.
Right.
You can instantly build a faction
Right.
against the Von Erich boys.
Sure.
Freebird-esque. Midnight Express-esque.
Sure.
And you can start something that can interest
Bring
not
attention.
thousands and hundreds of thousands, but millions.
You could.
Because you know what?
You could.
I'm not a huge MLW fan, to be honest with you, but if I started hearing about the Von Erichs feuding with the new Freebirds, for example, I might actually tune in to just see what that's all about. And if it's good enough, I might watch it.
And to hammer it home, the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks didn't really, start with AEW. Hi, we're in front of it. Those guys were going at it for quite a while there.
Yes.
And ba-boom, there they were. So I can see that happening. And by the way, that's I don't want to freak anybody out, but this is just how I feel. That's the greatest tag team rivalry in pro wrestling today. The Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. That's all there is to it.
Wow, really?
I have to think about it.
Over the Usos.
Today, right now.
Over the Usos.
Usos versus who?
Oh, you're just talking about the rivalry
I'm talking
itself.
about the rivalry.
Oh, okay,
That's
fair
the
enough.
biggest tag team rivalry in wrestling.
Fair enough.
And it's beautiful.
I agree.
Oh my
I
God,
agree.
it's great. So
But
there
if
go.
you built a Freebird faction,
That would be unbelievable
against the Von Erich boys.
It's almost too smart. For them to do. It's almost too obvious.
And honestly,
I'd love to see that.
The other recommendation, hire Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast.
Oh, if
right
we
here.
were announcing.
If you had us announcing for you,
my
Mr.
God.
Bauer,
Are you kidding?
we promise we'd bring that home.
And we love your name. So just give us a call.
Just give us a call.
We're there.
1-800, pay us. All right.
Wait, can I be Abdullah? Pay us, please.
We've got Abdullah's money.
There you go. And his
AEW
pizza.
introduces the TBS Championship for the... there's a moan coming from the Pharaoh.
Here we go.
Championship for the AEW's women division. So last Wednesday night, All Elite Wrestling officially introduced the TBS Championship during Wednesday night's AEW Dynamite. The title will be part of the AEW women's division and will celebrate AEW Dynamite's upcoming move to TBS beginning in January. It will be confirmed there will be a tournament with Thunder Rosa, Sky Blue, Ruby Soho, Jade Cargill will be involved. Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember when the NWO started adding too many members and what had once been established and working was no longer so great?
Right.
It was diluted. Here's my point. Is it fair to say that the AEW Women's World Championship has not yet truly been like, okay, this is the place where the best women in the world go?
No.
Okay, thank you. Why are you adding another belt? You're diluting the product.
They need...
Why are you doing that?
They
What,
need
to,
a
to have a second
championship.
one? Have a, hey, here I am. I think it's lame.
I don't like this
Lame,
whole
lame.
putting
TBS
the TV, like the station you're on,
Could you
championship.
imagine if Vince McMahon brought out, introduced to us, here he
Fox
is, the
title.
USA Network? Are you kidding?
I agree. I think it's terrible.
horrible.
The TNT title.
And you know
the
what-
TBS title.
Right, and-
just call him the television champion.
Thank you, because in the old days, that was cool.
Yeah. You're the television champion of TBS.
right.
You're the television champion, or, I understand. Here's the other thing. No, I don't understand. I'm going to take that back. They need more championships because there's not enough room for everybody.
That's lame.
Well, stop hiring everybody. then.
Right. I think it's diluting everything.
I agree.
It's lame as can be. Lame. Totally lame.
I will tell you, the worst championship I think I've ever saw, and I think you remember this, was the UWF Television Championship, which was...
Wait a minute, wasn't Sonny
No,
champion?
not that UWF.
Oh, the other,
In
yeah,
the South.
Sonny's belt
It
is
was
cool.
a medal.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? It was a medal. Terry Taylor
is
wore it.
that?
I hated that.
Oh,
You're
that
fighting
was-
for a medal?
And if it's not Kurt Angle's medals, it don't mean shit anyway.
It's just like, there's something prestigious about putting a belt around your waist.
Of course there
right?
is, which so few do now.
No.
They just, it's on
Well,
the shoulder, it's on the...
I'm okay with the shoulder. In fact, one of my favorite
well,
things...
Roman's great.
Roman's great.
Roman's great with it, but
And he
I
doesn't
mean,
even hold it. He gives it to Paul to hold it for him.
He puts his hand
That's
down.
how great that is.
Fantastic.
You know what? One of the great holders? Don Morocco.
Yes.
When he used to wear it around his neck.
Yes.
I used to love that,
That was
dude.
different.
It was
no
different.
one dared do that. He was doing that. But you know who looked the best with the belt wrapped around their waist, though? Bob Backlund.
Oh, my God, yes.
How perfect did he look with that belt wrapped around his waist, coming in with the sweat, the
And the
wrestling
towel,
sweat jacket,
and
and
the
the
towel,
towel.
yeah.
I mean, gee, you think this guy's a wrestler?
Oh, my
You know,
God.
the epitome of it.
And I got to tell you, again, having a belt that says TBS on it, I'm just like,
can't
come
anymore.
on, man. Just call it the television championship. I'm okay with the women having a second belt. You're all right. It is diluting, but I'm okay with it. But to call it the TBS title, I don't even like the TNT title. I think it's lame.
Right. And I want to know, where is my Cartoon Network championship belt? Where
That's
is
pretty
it?
funny.
Where is it? I've earned it. Next.
All right, we're almost out of time.
We are.
Highlights from the WWE draft. So tell me your favorite points and your lowest points of the draft.
The draft was, well, the presentation I think you and I talked about, they could do something better with announcing the draft picks. How bland. It's just...
What would you do?
I liked your idea, bringing out different famous retired wrestlers and the number 3 pick. Have a nice day, something. Give
How
us...
fun would like Backlund come out and
Yeah,
announce it,
right.
or
Anybody.
Morocco, Valentine,
Anybody from the past would be cool. Gilbert.
How great would that be?
Our buddy Gilbert.
I
Let
agree.
him come out and do that. That would be fantastic. So, presentation, come on. Yeah, you can do better than that, okay? Brock Lesnar is the greatest. He takes the mic from the chick, and I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but he takes the mic from the chick, and he's like, I'm a free agent. I'll go wherever I want. I was like, I love you, Brock.
Brock rules.
Just cause chaos
Brock
everywhere. interesting, and I do like it. At first, I was like, "What? Got to keep them together." But I was like, kind of glad they separated for the second year in a row, as he pointed out. Big E is separated from the New Day, you know, and that's good though because we're trying to make sure Big E is established as a champ. So I think it's fine. Now he's really got to win on his own, right? Who's helping him?
Thoughts on? We didn't see this coming because we talked about it last week. Yeah. Thoughts on Charlotte getting drafted to SmackDown as Raw champion and Becky going to Raw as SmackDown champion?
I actually like it. I think that Raw needs Becky.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm great about that.
How do you get those belts? They can't do the trade-off like the two tag teams did last year. That was terrible. I didn't like that at all.
Very well made.
You can't do that, dude. You can't.
How about they just decide not to and they rub it in that they're champion of the other show?
That's not a bad idea, dude. I think you stay home with that.
Yeah.
Because I love the fact on Monday Night Raw that Bianca did not win the belt. That made me happy.
God.
And,
Thank
God. Again, at Crown Jewel, they got that three-way with Sasha, Bianca, Becky.
Right.
Do you think Becky comes out losing the SmackDown title?
I don't think it's wise to take the belt off either one of them.
I agree.
I don't think that's wise
I think it's a huge
at all.
mistake if they do.
Yeah, I think so too. But I do think you can't ignore Bianca forever, man. She's going to get a belt somewhere along the line.
Let her chase.
She's great.
And to be honest,
I'm just not a fan.
Oh, you know what screws that up too? They brought the Street Profits back to Raw with Bianca. So there goes the Usos and Naomi.
Right.
The bloodline against that, which could have been a great feud.
Right.
So why juice up Raw?
Raw needs it. And I'm glad they did this. Because Raw has been, it's getting better lately, but it was stale for the longest time and it lacked it factor. I can't get invested, and this is not a knock on the names I'm going to name, but they don't have Becky Lynch's it factor. Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus. That can't be the top three reasons I tune in every week. It can't be. Bobby Lashley has been a great champion, but I just don't feel like he has that.
Does SmackDown lose anything from the draft? Did they lose? They lost some guys, right?
Yeah, but look who they got back. I mean, they
Drew McIntyre.
They got Charlotte on that damn show.
Rumor has it that Fox demanded Charlotte.
They should demand Charlotte. I think it's huge that they have Charlotte on that show. Now you got Roman and Charlotte on the same show. I don't see how that can hurt at least 40 minutes of your program.
That's a good point.
That's a pretty good jump you got on that. And by the way, they listened to the Pharaoh. King Nakamura stays on SmackDown with Rick Boogs. I love it. By the way, that high note that Rick Boogs hits, I've been trying to practice it. I can't get it. I can't get anywhere near it.
You're older than him. That's why your voice.
What? Nakamura? Yeah! There you go.
Well,
I just hit it.
With that episode 11, we want to thank everybody for joining us.
Yeah. Episode what? Episode 12.
12.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep saying
Messier was last week.
Damn you.
Yeah.
Man. Damn you.
Who's the famous number? Oh, Joe Namath is this week.
Joe Namath is this way. That's right.
We guarantee you that you'll love our show.
Enjoy SmackDown. Enjoy Rampage. This is Mike Monty.
This is the Pharaoh. And until next week when we hit, in the month of October, unlucky number 13.
When it's on a Friday, too.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, my God.
Later.